This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. So, Deep Jimpact, friend of the channel, resident chief humorist, you see him in the comments below sometimes. He sent me an article over the last couple of days with Andy Mooney, CEO of Fender, had done an interview talking about Fender play, and within it he sort of revealed that there was a piece of Fender research that showed that 9 out of 10 guitarists kind of quit within the first year of buying an instrument. That's quite a low retention rate. Would that be a thing? So 9 out of 10, you know, you buy, I don't know, some sort of Squire guitar. Probably most of those, I'd imagine, might be kids, right? And it never gets played. And so, you know, 9 out of 10 people. So 1 out of 10, if you're still playing guitar, well done, you're exceptional. And what was interesting was he said that over the lifetime of being a guitarist, if you are one of those 1 in 10 that do carry on playing the guitar for life, will buy 5 to 7 guitars over the lifetime of their guitar playing career or hobby or whatever you want to call it, and they will spend an average of $10,000. Now, $10,000, I think, when you first hear it, sounds like quite a lot of money. And then probably when you think about the lifetime of a guitarist. So I've been playing guitar for 2.5 decades now. And I think actually $10,000 doesn't really even cover most of what I've got in this room. Do you know what I mean? Like if you have 2 nice guitars, you know, more expensive stuff, which I think some of us that are actually watching this stuff on YouTube and are interested in gear demos and that stuff, I think a lot of us kind of skew towards some of the more upper end stuff. So it might be something like a Fender American Professional, it might be something like a PRS Custom 22, it might be these sorts of instruments. If you had one or two of them, a Gibson Les Paul even, and say one pretty nice amp, you easily get towards that kind of number. Not to mention if you had a pedal collection, you know, a few decent pedals, easily $10,000 could get you a really nice set of guitars and easily a nice rig. But I don't think most of us actually start off with that in mind, if you know what I mean. So I think if you're anything like me, gradually you get more and more interested in gear as you go through. You learn a bit about stuff, you get a bit nerdy about some of these things. You start to think about pickups, you start to think about different tube screamers. Your mum finds guitar magazines under your bed. Do you know what I mean? That's I think the typical kind of way that it goes for a lot of us guitarists. And over time, as you start to earn a bit of money, potentially you think, right, well, I'm going to buy that guitar that I really like the look of and all that sort of stuff. It's not necessarily that you start off kind of with this idea of a dream rig and then just buy that. Do you know what I mean? That might even be a cheaper way to get to the goal. So for instance, if I had known that a K-Line Springfield was what I wanted all along, and if 9 times out of 10 when I'm playing guitar, it might be this guitar, and I also know that an HX Stomp is going to be the thing that I use again sort of 8 times out of 10, then I could have got the rig that I would use for, these would be about 2,500 new, and the HX Stomp's about £450, you know, less than sort of £3,000, which again is not a small amount of money, but it's way less money than what I've actually spent on gear over the years. You know, I might have spent more than 10 times $10,000 probably, and I wouldn't be that surprised if you guys have as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, particularly if you're, you know, been playing guitar 20, 30 years. I'd imagine 5 to 7 guitars is probably way too low for the majority of us, right? 5 to 7 guitars, I was on, you know, 5 to 7 guitars by the time I was 16, maybe? Younger? I don't know. I just find it interesting, to be honest. Like, so much of guitars is like a physical and like aesthetic thing that they are quite easy to get really attracted to, and marketing seems to work. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Are you someone who has managed to spend sort of less than $10,000? And if so, are you sort of newer to the guitar? Or, you know, particularly I'm thinking about sort of custom shop guitars, these sorts of things, and things that Jake, whose birthday it was the other day, he was playing a Dumble ODS, the one that John Mayer recorded where the light is on, which is pretty incredible. Apparently Dumbles don't sound crap, which is interesting to hear. I think a lot of us get caught on this kind of revolving door of gas, and I think in some ways it's not always a bad thing, and it can keep you interested in playing guitar. There's, you know, plenty of valid reasons to have lots of gear, and plenty of valid reasons to be concerned that you're spending too much money on gear as well. I think it's quite an interesting thing to kind of talk and think about, hopefully, and particularly if you're one of these people that is in that situation of, you know, impulse purchasing, I find is what I'm kind of trying to be more conscious of. So for instance, obviously on this channel, I tend to buy quite a bit of gear to just kind of have something to talk about, or something to investigate, or something that I was interested in for many years, like a Gibson Les Paul, or, you know, some of the modeling stuff, which I'm super interested in, and it's interested to make videos with these things and have an idea of what the current state of modeling might be. So for me, obviously, I'd imagine my spending might be a bit higher than most, right? Because it's become part of my job, weirdly. And yeah, I think what gear companies really want is that people like me, or people way bigger than me as well, are presenting you with bits of gear that you end up thinking, well, that sounds good. I do have a few paid promotions coming up in the week, but in the next month or so, some of which I'm really quite keen on showing you for various reasons, but I will clearly state in them when I'm being paid to demo them. I think that's important. But yeah, I try to also, those are like a minuscule fraction of the videos that I do, because I think I want to try and keep it more on the level of like, these are things that I'm really interested in, that I've bought with my own money. I think there is a different kind of relationship you have with that kind of gear, if you get what I mean. The things that you actively sort out rather than a company coming and saying, would you demo this? I think there is a different dynamic. I don't know, let me know your thoughts on that as well. But I thought, yeah, $10,000. How would you spend $10,000 knowing what you know about gear now? I'd like to know your thoughts on that. You know, if you've got like 2 guitars and an amp that you would just buy and you'd forget the rest. Like, I've spent lots of money on amps, and I'm fairly confident that right now, if I had to buy my amps back again, I would maybe buy one, if any, such has been the journey that I've been going around the kind of revolving door of trying stuff and, you know, succumbing to gas and thinking about, you know, maybe this amp will sound like whatever. And I've got to the point now where it's like, well, I've done enough kind of comparing to know that once I've recorded an amp or a modeler, the results are very much in the same kind of wheelhouse. It's not an either or kind of thing. And this is exactly what Rob Harris was talking about on his podcast, where he's saying, you know, if he wants to record an idea quickly and capture a moment of inspiration, he doesn't go and grab an amp and sort of fiddle around with a mic or whatever. He quickly wants to get the result down. And I think that's a key for lots of us, as well as if you're just practicing. Like, I want to be able to quickly get to where I need to be and practice. So whether that's the modeling stuff is consistent and quick to get to, and I probably tend to gravitate towards a guitar that I know I can get good results out of quickly and enjoy playing quickly. I think that's part of the reasoning that we should try to remember maybe when we're spending all of our money on gear. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments if you would. If you wanted this preset, it's Spank Lead 35. I'm really enjoying that one at the moment. You can use the Gumroad link if you want to try that. And again, if you want to try backing tracks and stuff, request backing tracks. Patreon is a place to do that. Thanks for your support there. It does help me buy more gear. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers. Oh, Lenny's doing good. Elodie's doing good. Not home yet, but hopefully soon. And you'll hear some screaming babies in these videos and stuff. It's going to be great. Ow!